Welcome back. Now, have you seen wildlife and conservation filmmaker Shekar Dattatri's latest film, Truth About Tigers? Because he's showing it everywhere in the city and it is an absolute must-watch. This is also the Chinese Year of the Tiger, and Shekar and I were talking about it in the break and saying, isn't it ironical that the Chinese are eating most of our tigers?
Well, this is the year of the tiger according to their zodiac, and they probably celebrate the year of the tiger by eating more of our tigers, which is really sad.
And the Indian government can't do anything about this, Shekar. I mean,
well, you know, instead of trying to convince 1.2 billion Chinese not to consume products, not that all of them are consuming, it's much easier to protect our forests. Today our forests are most of our forests are so unprotected that poachers can go in and help themselves. If we tighten our protection, poaching will certainly come down. Today there isn't enough of a deterrent.
so that's what we were talking about earlier, and we'll continue along that vein. What do you think our state government is doing? Are we better than the other governments?
Look, it's difficult to compare state governments because what happens is the protection of every forest depends on the officer who's posted there at that period of time. And what happens in all forest departments across the country is every 3 years the officers get shifted. So for 3 years there might be a good, capable officer who's doing a good job and everything flourishes. And then he'll be replaced with somebody else who is not competent or who's corrupt or whatever, everything goes down. So this is the system that needs to change. There are a lot of changes that need to happen in the protection system.
So for that you have to go really very, very deep. It might take decades or even a century, because the way we work in India is very different from the way it is in the West.
Well, I don't think it's going to take decades because today there is much more awareness even in the government. And in the last couple of years, the central government has come up with some very, very good policies which can make protection much more efficient. So I think we'll start seeing the results of these policies in a couple of years. So I'm fairly optimistic that things will improve.
Now, earlier I said that you will tell us what we people sitting in the city, us urbanized folk, what we can do to help save the tiger.
Well, it's not just about saving the tiger, it's about saving all our wilderness areas and all the species that live there. And yes, it is a tough question. What can urbanites do? And if it was as easy as writing out a doctor's prescription, we could have saved all our wildlife. But the fact is, everybody, even in a city, has a certain core skill. So if you use your core skills to plug it into conservation, there's so much that can be done. I'll give you an example. If you're a lawyer, instead of saying to somebody like me, I'll carry your tripod when you go to film tigers, why not help me fight a case in court to stop the destruction of a forest? A journalist like yourself can write good articles, well-researched articles, make well-researched programs which will inform people about the issues. A school teacher can influence all the school children who study under her or him. So there's a lot that all of us can do. For instance, if somebody comes to me and says, I'm an event manager, I would say, help me do 100 events about the tiger across India. So no matter who you are or what you do in life, you can find a way to meaningfully contribute to conservation.
I think people think it's very romantic to go stay in the forest and shoot a movie about wildlife. So I suppose you are faced with a lot of requests like that. Oh, can I accompany you? Can I be your assistant? Are you?
Yeah, all the time. Sometimes when I'm coming from outside the country and the customs officer says, hey, what do you do? And I say, I'm a wildlife filmmaker. He'd say, tell me, when you're going to the forest next, I'll take leave and come with you. But actually, most people will find wildlife filmmaking very boring because it involves sitting still for long periods of time and sometimes not seeing anything for days. So you have to spend weeks and months to get anything meaningful on the screen.
No, Shekar, at your screening, you said something very important and interesting. You said that youngsters and us urban folk, we can do simple things like turn off taps when we're not using them, the light when we're not in the room, the computer when we're not working, So that is an important message that I'd like you to share with our viewers.
Most people think that wildlife conservation means going off to the jungle, giving up your life and doing something there. But actually, most of us can't do that. But there's so many things that people can do in their everyday lives that put less pressure on our forests. For instance, in South India, in peninsular India, most of our water comes from the forests of the Western Ghats. And in order to supply water to the cities, more and more dams are being built. So the more water we waste, more dams will have to be built, and that means submerging more forest. It's the same thing with electricity. So much of our power comes from hydroelectricity. And if you use electricity recklessly, Obviously, again, you need more dams to create more hydroelectricity. So simple things, they may not be glamorous, like going off and saving the tiger, but actually switching off your lights and not wasting water. These are important parts of conservation.
Now, this film that you've made, Shekar, you're taking it all around the country and showing it. This is also because if any of your viewers want to host the screening of the film, can you tell us what the process is?
Well, we have an accompanying website called www.truthabouttigers.org. And if people go there, first of all, they can learn a lot about tigers and their conservation. And they can also contact us. And if they want to organize a screening somewhere, or even if they want to request a free DVD, we're giving away thousands of DVDs, they can go to the homepage of the website and register for a DVD. And hopefully they will take this DVD and share it with family and friends, and maybe have a screening in their children's school. That's the purpose of giving away these DVDs. So the website is the way they can connect with us.
So they just have to provide an auditorium and a screen. So would you tell us?
Well, what we do is we have a traveling show. So we actually take all the projection equipment. So all they need to do is provide us with a good hall, and if they write to us, we'll tell them the specifications, and they just need to drum up an audience.
So where all have you screened the film?
Oh, this film has already been screened personally by me in many parts of the country. I've had screenings in Delhi, in Bangalore, many screenings in Chennai, Ooty, Erode, Coimbatore, Rajapalayam, lots of places.
So you just go, if somebody calls you, you'll go, or do they
Yes.
have to, pay for your travel and all of that?
No, we are not charging anybody for anything, because thanks to several well-wishers, our travel is taken care of. So all we are really requesting people is, give us a good hall, give us a good audience, and we'll come and show you the film.
So it's very simple. You can ask for a free DVD of the film if you go to the website. And if you'd like to screen the film anywhere, very easy. You just have to get in touch with Shekar. This is all that he's doing this year. But stay tuned. After we come back, after the break, we'll talk about a little bit about how you started on this career, as it were, and the challenges and all that you've faced. I'm in conversation with wildlife and conservation filmmaker Shekar Dattatri.